Hello friends, welcome to Salesforce CMATICS video session 113. So basically in today's video, we will understand one more concept of node, which is the update node, and we will understand how we can utilize that. So first of all, I just wanted to tell you a few data Excel sheet which I have created. So basically, we have something called as the candidate name. Okay, so I just, gave the candidate name and I've just given the ID as you can see 1, 2, and I've given the name of 𝑃𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂. Okay, that's fine. And the next uh, Excel sheet or the CSV file which I've created is, I've just have the same ID, but I've written the candidate update name where I've written the full name. That's it. Okay. Now, what update node does is basically you will have the same column name, fine, but the values will be replaced by this one. Okay. We will understand this once we do this. So, what I will do is here, firstly, very quickly go to Analytics Studio and I will first upload this CSV file. Fine. So, I will just go to this data set, CSV file. So let me go for candidate name. So here it will be shared app. Okay. And here I click on upload file. So now this data set got created. Okay. What I will do is I will just upload one more, which is the candidate updated name. Okay. I think I should have changed that to, I guess, dimension. Yeah, I think I made one mistake. I should have changed that to dimension. Let me check. I guess I didn't change that. Okay, so I will just quickly change this to dimension, this candidate name which I have. So I will just click on replace data. Okay, I will click on upload files. We'll click on candidate name once again. Okay, yeah, candidate name once again, and here this is completely fine. We'll click on next. Or let me go to previous, replace the file. We'll go to candidate name. Here it is. Okay, this is fine. Yeah, this one, what I will do instead of this dimension, I will change that to this candidate name. I will change it to, is from measure, I will change this to dimension. Okay. So let's just get uploaded. And I think in the meanwhile, this is already done. So I will click on explore. And as you can see here, I have this dimension ID and name. And I think once this get uploaded, here also I will get that ID and dimension. Okay. So basically I have this one data set where I'm having this particular ID and name. Okay. 1, 2 𝑃𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂, and I have this candidate updated name where I'm having the ID as well as the candidate updated name. Okay, that's great. Now the next step is I will very quickly go to my data flow and I will show you how we utilize that update node. So we'll go to data flow and recipe. We'll go to data flows and here let me write this session 12. This session 12. Okay, and I will go for an HMart. I will just write candidate name and here also I will search for the data set candidate name. Okay, similarly I will go for this candidate updated name. So here I will go for this data set candidate updated name and I will go for this update node that I will write. So I will take the left source, which is the candidate name. The left key will be ID. Okay. the right source is similar to what we have done in output node, but here we will just replace that column. Okay, and the right key will be ID once again, and in the update columns I will just go for this candidate name, and the right key will be candidate updated name. That's it. Okay, click on clear, and finally I will register that. So I will just write it as candidate update candidate dataset. Okay. Update candidate dataset, that's fine. Fine. Let me click on it. So as you can see here, this is the candidate name which I have. Okay, this is the candidate updated name. And with this update node, first of all, they took the left source. Okay, I have given the left key, the ID which is matching. And based on that ID, they will replace this candidate name with the candidate updated name. That's it. Okay, so now I will just update and run the data flow. So we will just monitor this. So basically this ran successfully, and maybe I will just copy this one and go over here, just search for this data set. Now, if I directly move to my values table, here you can see I have the ID, and the candidate name got replaced by the full name. So if you see here, that first time, and here also maybe I can just go to values table, same with here. So as you can see here, I have this ID, I have the candidate name, and based on this ID, I just replaced that candidate updated name here. Now in the final data set, the column name remained the same. Okay, so I have this candidate name, which is the same column name, but the values got replaced. So update is more like, the column name will be same, but there are certain values which needs to be replaced from some other uh, column which is coming from a different CSV or external system. If that needs to be done, then we can go for this update node. Okay, so that's what this update node did over here, as you can see. Now the same thing we can do in recipe as well. So in the same video, I will just tell you how this can be done on the recipe section. So let me go to this recipe. Let me go for I think it will be free session 18 in recipe. That's fine. Let me go for a new recipe. Click on add input data, and I will filter it down on external data set. So I think I already have this candidate name. Oh, sorry, the candidate name and candidate updated name. That is fine. And I will click on next. And what I will do is I will basically create an update node. And here, let me write update candidate name. And finally, the pairs. I think I will go for ID over here, as well as the same thing. I can go for the ID over here as well. And finally, let me go for the candidate name. Fine. The candidate name, candidate updated name. Let me click on apply. And finally, I will go for this output node where I will just write. I will just mention the same name. Okay, that is candidate. And maybe I can add the recipe part. Okay, that's completely fine over here. So I will just click on apply, and I will put that name over here. Uh, in the label, automatically it will take the API names, and here I will just go for the recipe data set. Okay, so that's fine. Here I can just delete this recipe part. This is the final data set, which is fine. I'll click on apply. And finally here, so here also, like, definitely just like we have the update node, here also in recipe we have the update node, and here also they are asking for the key pairs, which is the ID and which column needs to be updated. And it's just that way it's a bit different over here, where I mean not different, it's just the way the UI is a bit different. That's it. Okay, based on that mode. And finally, this will also give me the same result. Okay, so here I think I have to write free session 18. Yeah. And maybe once again also we can monitor it over here, which is fine. Yeah, so basically this recipe ran successfully, as you can see over here. And finally, if I go to my data set, so first of all I will save this ones which I had earlier. So let me save it as updated candidate lens. That's fine. Updated candidate lens, and maybe I can give it in my shared app, which is fine as well. And what I will do is right now I will just open this new one. That is the, let me check the recipe data set. Okay, let me check the recipe data set. That data set which I have. Yeah, so it's, I think I pivoted. What was that name? Recipe. In this one. Yeah, update candidate. So here also now if I go to my values table. So here also I see the same thing. I can save this once again as updated candidate name. Updated candidate recipe lens. Okay. And I can go for in my recipe data set. Okay. So as you can now clearly see over here. So at first, like of course we had that data set which you can see the candidate name which had my name, and I have the candidate update name which had my full name. So what I did is basically here I went for a, I mean on the data flow side I just simply went for this update node where they took the ID. I mean then I just replace like what is that field. So basically here we have this update column, which column needs to be updated. So I ensure that the candidate name got updated with the candidate updated based on that ID. So basically the column name will remain the same. As you can see over here, this column name remains the same, but it's just that the values got updated. Okay, and same thing we can do on the recipe where we have this update node, and this is the same thing which we can do just like we did on data flow. And you can see the same results over here as well. Okay, so the column name remains the same, but the values got updated. So that's all about this update node. Okay, I explained you both on the data flow as well as on the recipe how that can be done. And yeah, it's a very simple concept, but yeah, definitely sometimes based on the requirement is needed where certain columns are there which already has certain names, but there must then that depending on the business requirement certain changes has been done on certain values. Then basically the based on that column name, if there are updated value which is existing in a different system or different CSV file, then we can just utilize this update node and ensure that in that same column name we get the updated values. Okay, so that's about all this update node. I mean, this is what update node is all about. Okay, so yeah, that's it about this video, and definitely do like, share, and subscribe, and we will meet in soon in the very next one. Thank you.